Press record. Sweet. Okay, so welcome to the workshop. If you don't have a paper and pen, grab one. We'll start with that. If you printed the sheet, then you can use the sheet for this first thing with the pen. So that is super cool. We're going to start by closing our eyes and not opening them until I say go. Okay, so close your eyes. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Bit 2 more. Let the day go. 1 more deep breath. Big exhale. Keep them closed for a second. So this workshop is based on participation. The more you give me, the more you're going to get out of it. However, I understand some people don't like to share, don't like to have their screens on. I'm okay with that. If you do not want to share, either raise your hand now or send me a message and I'm happy to not call on you. This can change completely. So if you're like, oh, I'm good later, then just let me know. It's up to you. All right, sweet. 1 more deep breath. And open your eyes. Amazing. Okay, so grab your piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to write down the starter, which is the first thing on your worksheet. I should, and then finish the sentence with what comes to your mind. Okay, it can have absolutely nothing to do with mindful eating or everything to do with it. I should eat more vegetables. I should go to bed earlier. I should meditate more. I should get back to the gym. I should. All right. I need 3 people to volunteer. So someone start by unmuting themselves and share what you got. If not, I'll call on you if you were okay with that.
I wrote down I should be more mindful of my food intolerances.
Okay.
I find my nutrition's pretty good overall, except for that. And I have like 26 major food intolerances, which makes it very hard to eat if you're not prepared.
Yes, 100%. All right, take a deep breath. How did it feel to say that out loud?
Good. But something that I've been working on for a bit. So I'm hoping that I'm walking away with new strategies tonight.
Perfect. You are. All right. Who's next? Brooklyn, just to catch you up, we started the sentence with I should, and then you filled in whatever you're thinking, whatever comes to mind for that. Who's next? Maynard, hit me. You're already unmuted.
I should go to sleep earlier because I can't function properly at all, and yeah, I should put an effort into more discipline than anything. It's like I do it for a couple of days and then
100%.
for a couple of months I won't do it, and I can't function like that.
Feel that. All right, take a breath with me. How did it feel to say that?
It was good. It was like I needed it to say it out loud.
Feels like you needed it. All right, 1 more. Someone hit me. Michelle, do you want to go?
Sure. I should be more consistent with my eating habits.
Nice. Take a breath. Feelings, emotions, sensations.
it's just nice to say it out loud because it makes me more accountable for what I wrote down.
Yeah.
Because something that goes around in my head all the time, but when you say it out loud and other people hear it, it kind of adds another layer to the accountability, I think.
Okay, awesome. I want everyone to cross out should, or if you're on the worksheet, next line, write could. Something's in my eyeball. Luann, read me your could statement. We'll go the same 3 people for this part.
I could be more mindful of my food intolerances.
Take a breath. How does that one hit in comparison?
Makes me take more responsibility for it.
Nice. Einar, hit me with your could.
I could take on less things. I have too many things going on at the same time, and takes too much effort in my life to do that.
Sorry, I heard only part of that. I cut out. One more time.
I say I could take on less stuff, less projects, less,
Oh, Mhm.
yeah, less things in general.
so that you can get
I
more
try,
sleep.
I try to do more. I try to do too many things,
Yeah,
and
relatable.
it gets too busy.
Yeah. Take a breath and let me know how that one feels.
Yeah, it's feels okay.
It's okay. All right, Michelle.
I could be more consistent with my eating habits.
Mhm. In comparison?
Well, it makes me wonder why the heck I'm not.
Ah, nice. There's a lot of smiling, like head nods, like seems about right. All right, cross out could and write can for me. We're doing some language magic, my friends. Language matters. And then you're going to write because and finish the sentence. I can go to bed earlier or whatever it is because this, by the way, is called the should detox. You can do it in your life anytime. I do it all the time with the gym. Maynard, you're done first writing, so tell me your can because
I can try to go to sleep better so I can perform better in life.
ooh, nice. And how does that one feel in comparison to the first or second?
It feels like why I don't do it if I know
Yeah.
I can. It feels stupid. I just
No,
feel dumb right now.
no. We're not going for stupid. We're going for like this is possible.
Yeah, it's like a slap in the face, right?
Yeah,
Like a wake up kind of thing.
yeah. Also, you guys can always write will. You can also write it in your planner. You can also set alarms. You can also take a step in the right direction. I have a bedtime alarm that goes off when I'm at home, and it reminds me that like bedtime's in 30 minutes. Get your crap together and stop watching Love is Blind or whatever the heck I'm watching in absolute and excessive amount. The Perfect Match, I watched till midnight the other day. I watched all 4 episodes in a row. It's like, what am I doing? Go to bed. Luann, read me your can because
I can be more mindful of my food intolerances because I'm over feeling bloated and I want to feel better.
nice. That felt legit. How'd that feel? To say it.
Good, because I truly am over it.
Yeah. Is there steps you can take right now or like something you can set up for yourself for success? Like a meal prep day or something, put it in your schedule? Do you
Well,
prepare?
that's what doing today, and I've been trying new recipes for like protein balls and stuff
Nice.
like that. So I don't like quickly grab snacks that aren't good for my tummy. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing today.
yeah, perfect. All right, and Michelle, read me your Ken because.
I can be more consistent with my eating habits because it will help me reach my competition weight goals without scrambling at the very end.
Mhm. You gotta
Oh,
get
it's a tough one.
that black belt on the road, baby. How'd it feel to say?
Good, because I'm going through that right now.
Yeah.
I'm panicking. I'm panicking about making weight for a tournament in March, and I could have stopped that. I could have been in a better place if I had actually taken the initiative sooner, if I was consistent instead of pigging out after every competition and getting out of hand.
Yeah. The restriction and that leads to that, but that your guys' field is so interesting because like it makes you cut so fast. So then the like binge restrict cycle is like so crazy in martial arts and any weight class sports. So I feel for you. Okay, so we'll move on just a bit. I'll introduce myself now. If you guys don't already know me, my name's Deanna Balberman. I'm actually from Brantford. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist, and I mostly help women, mostly women, feel comfortable and confident in their bodies through intuitive eating, which I'll explain today, mindful eating, for lack of a better word, and mindset work. So like the should detox, I do a lot of language play and things that help us feel more confident and sound more confident. So we get rid of the fad diets, the binge restrict cycle, and pay attention to what feels good for that specific person rather than throwing people meal plans that they do for 3 weeks, then hate the dry chicken and broccoli, never want to eat it again, eat everything, go back to dry chicken and broccoli. Everyone knows what I mean. Terrible, disgusting. No, thank you. I don't want to have like a spray of oil on my food. I would like to eat satiating foods. And I'm assuming you guys feel that. So we're going to go around and we'll do just a quick intro so you guys get to know each other better. I'm not going to make you do like an hour of this. So I want your name, which is cool. It's on your thing. If you have an interest that's exciting to you, and then your favorite kitchen utensil. I'll call on you in the order that you are on my screen. So Maynard, you're first. Give me it.
Maynard, I do martial arts and I teach martial arts too. I like sports and yeah, I do construction for a living. And my favorite thing on the kitchen will be probably the knives.
The knife. It's scary. As he does martial
I,
arts. I'm scared. I'm just kidding. He's the nicest guy. All right, Michelle, you're next.
So I'm Michelle, and yeah, martial arts here, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and competitor as well. Favorite kitchen utensil. I don't know if it counts as a utensil, but I really like my pressure cooker.
Ooh, nice. That's and appliance. That's always a question that comes up. So I'm happy with that too. Carol, you're next.
I'm Carol. I'm a property manager, as a few of you already heard. I'm just trying to get back into a healthier lifestyle, joining a gym. It's great because I have to book classes like yoga and spin classes. So that little act, it makes me commit to myself and commit that time and energy. And my favorite kitchen utensil when I use it is my crock pot, because I like nothing better than not having to cook when I get home from work.
100% underrated. Love it. And when you do it for a whole week, you're like, wow, why don't I do this every week? And then you forget about it for 4 months.
Yeah.
Alicia, you're next, my friend.
Hello, I'm Alicia. If you haven't caught it yet, Minor is my husband.
I didn't notice that.
I mentioned this before, but I really like to hike and stay active with my kids. We've been hiking the Bruce Trail for the last couple of years, and that's been a fun activity. My favorite kitchen utensil is probably my frying pan.
Nice. Do you have a fancy one?
Not really, it's the rock, but I just like if I don't have a frying pan, I feel like I can't cook.
Fair. I like it. Brooke, I know you were finishing something up. If you're done, go ahead. If you're not, then that's cool. I'll skip you.
Hi, I'm Brooke. I'm a rec programmer. I guess I can turn my video on now too, that I'm not doing work anymore. I'm a rec programmer in Bradford for an adult day program, so I love my job. My favorite kitchen utensil would probably be my little taco stands I have that I can put my tacos in.
That's amazing. I don't have one of those. Dahlia, is that how you say it? There's a
That's
deal.
how you say it.
Pardon?
That's how you say it.
Dahlia. Okay, perfect. That's cool. I've never heard that name before.
Oh, hi, I'm Dahlia. I work in tech marketing and global events. I do a lot of work for Microsoft and planning their global conferences. But when I'm not doing that, I like landscape photography, I like doing yoga, I like hiking, and I like to cook. So my favorite kitchen appliance is probably my pasta roller. I love to make pasta.
Ooh, very good. Look at everyone with their different things. Luann.
I'm Luann. I dispatch for the fire department in Hamilton. Also run a side hustle as a Beachbody health and wellness mentor. I was a personal trainer in my past life. My favorite kitchen utensil right now has got to be the air fryer. I'm embracing this thing. I use it probably like 5 times a week.
Yeah, I went through my phase and now it's on the back burner. It's like, oh my gosh, everything that's shiny and new, and then I'm over it 3 seconds later. But that's just a nice trait of ADHD I have. So I'm sure I'll get back to it and get obsessed with it again. But the chicken wings, like chicken drumsticks in there, so good. Like sweet potato fries. You'll have to send your favorite idea. Charisse, is that how you say it?
Yeah, hi. Hi, I'm Sharice, and I am a laboratory technologist. It's my day job. But I do archery, recurve archery competitively. And yeah, been doing that for about 3 years competitively, 4 years just as a hobby, and really enjoying that. So I'm here just to learn a bit more about nutrition. That's something I've been struggling with off and on for many years. Like I was in school up until 5 years ago and then now working. So yeah, just kind of getting my life on track there. And my favorite kitchen utensil is actually a granite cutting board that I have that's big enough to roll out doughs and cut up a whole bunch of vegetables on, and just looks really pretty and shiny. So that's it.
I was just gonna say, like, that makes every photo look aesthetic if you have a little,
Yep.
you put
In the right
anything on
light,
there,
it
looks
is very
good.
nice.
Yeah, 100%. Ooh, I want all of these things. Brookie, if you're there, you might be with a client. Oh, she's there. Hi.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn. I'm a registered dietitian and certified diabetes educator. Dee is my good friend, and I'm just popping on and off because I always love learning from her and brainstorming and bouncing ideas off of her. So it's good to learn. But my favorite kitchen utensil or appliance, I was going to say air fryer too. So I'm with you, Luann.
Nice. I saw a really good recipe that looked really good of like salmon in there. I've never tried salmon in there. Have you guys?
Oh, yes, 100%. Very good.
I've done salmon. I've even done steak in there.
Oh,
So
Okay.
good.
Did it ruin it? I'd be scared. The steak's expensive. It's a commitment.
No, it was so good. Cooked it to like perfection.
Okay. Well, good, because I'm always scared of ruining steak, so I will do that. All right. So, if you guys saw my Instagram post, which is how a lot of you guys came here, I had a list of things that potentially triggered you to sign up for this. And I want you to think about which ones of these are you, if not maybe all of them. I've had experiences with all of them over the time. So Any of these you? Grabbing a snack on the run daily, eating quickly in your car between appointments, shoving food in your face at your computer, always feeling unsatisfied and or hungry, finishing up your kids' meal, even when you didn't even realize it or want it, when they bring it home from school, for example, eating to survive versus thrive, paying little attention to what you're eating, constantly overeating and feeling bloated or heavy, unaware of your body signals, unsure what foods make you feel good versus blah, and eating based on emotions rather than your signals in your body. That sound familiar? Handful of those things. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go through a couple of exercises from the intuitive eating workbook. So I just brought them here so I can show you guys. So I'll explain what intuitive eating is in a second if you haven't ever heard of it, but this is the one edition of the book. There's more than one. So it's by 2 dietitians, and then this is their workbook that goes along with it. I know Brooklyn's super familiar with this as a dietitian as well. So created by 2 dietitians, Evelyn Tribole and Elise Resch, and it was created in the 90s. It's gaining popularity now, especially with the body positivity movement, body neutrality, all that jazz, and it has over 125 studies on it to prove that it is very effective. And this is what the book claims it does. So it gives you permission to eat any and all foods, encourages eating for physical rather than emotional reasons, relies on internal hunger and satiety versus external rules, uses nutrition and exercise as a gentle guide rather than a strict protocol. And it's been proven to help improve self-esteem with less binge eating, disordered eating, and emotional eating, creating a more varied diet. People usually think it does not do that. It does. Reduces self-silencing and creating more life satisfaction and improving health markers such as blood pressure and cholesterol. So in the book, there's many principles that they go over. Some of them are honor your hunger, feel your fullness, eat satiating foods, gentle nutrition, intuitive movement, and things along those lines. Today, we're going to focus mostly on satiation because what's better than pleasure? So if you didn't already, grab a snack. I'll keep talking while you have that. If you don't have one with you, that's cool. Or if you're just about to run and teach some people, I'm sure you don't want to eat a snack this second when you have to jump in 3 minutes. While you're doing that, if you need to grab something, then I will read you a quote from the workbook, which I put on your handout. It says, when you eat what you really want in an environment that is inviting and conducive, the pleasure you derive will be a powerful force in helping you feel satiated and content. By providing this experience for yourself, you will find that it takes much less food to decide you've had enough. Has anyone ever experienced that before? Like a fancy dinner, going out and eating like wine and cheese with your friends, and you feel like you're very satiated and very fulfilled with less food when it's a better environment for you? If anyone can think of a good example, share it with me. Maybe like a fancy date night.
I was just in New York with some girlfriends and we went to a beautiful restaurant there. And they had like the wine flight and the meal pairing. So we did that. So it was like a 5-course meal, and like every dish was like this tiny little like 2 inches by 2 inches on a plate. And you're kind of like, okay. But by the 3rd plate, like you're so full, like you just enjoy it more.
Yeah, absolutely. The exercise today will kind of give you that vibe, I'm sure. And anyone ever felt the opposite? So like a bad experience or something where you're in a myth environment and you feel not full, you know? Like, for example, me eating in front of the TV, and then I'm like, I'm still wanting food. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I ate way too much because I was distracted and not really paying attention. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Or like eating in the car, I often have a harder time feeling my fullness. Luann,
I
are you? Go
I
ahead.
feel like that's me at work a lot. So I work 12-hour shifts and
Yeah.
just sitting at a desk. And I find like on day shifts, I'm just like I try and spread my meals out, but I feel like I'm always eating. And then on night shifts, I feel like I'm just eating to stay awake, and I'm often like already full, even though I'm going to get more food.
Right. 100%. I get that one. You're like, this carb will wake me up. Help. Which it does. So like, yeah. Okay, so the exercises we're doing today, again, that'll help. So come in handy. I want to talk a little bit about something called a phantom food, which is, I like the term because it gives it a label for the experience that happens. So a phantom food is the food that you really want. So for example, chips, okay? And then you try to chase that food by filling it with other foods that might work. So you're like, chips, they're crunchy. I'm going to go for celery instead. It's a healthier version. And then you're like, oh, that didn't do it. I'm going to go for pretzels because it's salty, but better than chips. And then you're like, oh, nope, not really. I'm going to have some popcorn. And then your popcorn doesn't satiate you. And either by the end, you eat the chips, or you're full and feel gross from all the other things. Or you do that, you eat the celery until Friday, and then you eat a whole bag of chips on Friday because you were foraging for that satiation all week long. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, no problem, Michelle. I'll send you the recording. Anyone feel the phantom foods?
Oh, that's me for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a sweet tooth, and if I don't have chocolate in the house, I'll go find, oh, I heard bananas are like that, or I'll like, yeah, go down the hole.
100%. Yeah, that one is so funny. They're like, you're really just wanting magnesium. You're like, what? Like, I know what they're saying, but also like bananas are not going to do the same thing as chocolate. And yeah, so we'll get into that in a second. We're going to be talking about eating the foods that you actually want and enjoying them so that it doesn't feel like a guilty thing, and that you get satiation and pleasure from them, potentially by eating less of it and actually enjoying it and committing to it, versus like this is an example of me, I'm not calling anyone out, but like eating it at the counter, being like, I'm just gonna have a couple bites of this pie, when really like I had more than a slice, but I was standing there, so it's like it didn't really happen. I should have just plated the pie and had it over here and enjoyed it, but instead I'm like, no, just a couple bites. So we're going to be talking about the 3 S's you can use in the back of your mind to enjoy food more. This should be on your worksheet as well. The first one is eat slowly. Second one is eat sensually, not in like lingerie sexy style, but like using your senses. So like your taste and your smell, maybe your hearing if you like that crunch, things like that. That's what we're really diving into with the 1 exercise. And the third one is savor your food. So slowly, sensually, and savoring your food. It seems that these things are maybe boring, or maybe this triggers you a little bit because it reminds you of dieting in the past, where people are like, well, just put your fork down between bites and you'll lose weight, or like whatever, chew this 20 times and then you'll eat less. And I understand how that can be triggering of other situations. However, this is trying to get you to enjoy things, and it really does work. So if you look at things in terms of pleasure and enjoyment, it can help switch your mindset from the weight loss focus that you may have had in the past. Does that make sense, everyone, so far, those 3 things? Sweet. Okay, so to savor food, here's a few things you can do. I already talked about sitting down. Again, seems simple, but nutrition is not rocket science. Number 2, taking time away from things to eat. I know personally, I always say like, I don't have time, I'm running to the gym or whatever. But when I've timed myself eating a snack, it's like 5 minutes. And I was on Instagram for 5 minutes. a lot of times that day. So even if you can give yourself 5 minutes without the screens or 5-minute break at work, if possible, that really does help you savor things. Maybe it's 10 minutes. The other thing that I found super helpful when I started doing this work and getting into intuitive eating was taking some deep breaths before you start eating, especially when you're really hungry and you're in that ravenous state and you're like, go, 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 because you're likely eating way too fast, going to feel bloated and get full really fast. So just taking a few deep breaths to calm your nervous system and be like, food time now, food incoming, calm down, it's coming. That really helped me. And I like to remind myself that. Plus, anytime that you can take some deep breaths during the day, would recommend. And then the fourth thing is notice your sensations. So how hungry are you feeling? How full are you feeling? How are your taste buds being satisfied during this eating experience? Follow so far? Sweet. Okay. Another strategy is, this goes with the other one really, is checking in with yourself mid experience. So I'm halfway through my plate or I'm halfway through my snack. Check in. How are things tasting now? How full am I? Just like the sensations I just said above. This is not to say you can't keep eating. This is not to try to make you eat less. It's just, do I still like this food? Is it still feeling good? However it is feeling in your body, cool. You want to get away from the mindset of like, I can never eat this again if I don't, blah, blah, blah. We're not going for that as a way to stop eating. However, if you've ever had a bag of chips, which most of us have, usually that first chip is super delicious and you're like, love this, so good, which is why they say you can't only just have one, because your taste buds are excited, right? However, the last half of the bag of chips probably is not that enjoyable, but you're just eating it because you're eating it and because it's there. So if you check with yourself halfway through, hey, am I still enjoying this food? No? Okay, I'll put them away. Or like, yeah, I'm still enjoying this. I'm in a good environment, which we'll get to in a second. Then cool, finish it. It's not telling you to stop or keep going. It's just checking in the middle, see how it's tasting now. Making sense? All right. So I want to know, you're talking about enjoyable a second ago. How can you make your environment more enjoyable for you for eating? So can you set a place setting? Can you light a candle? Can you dim the lighting? Can you play soft music? Can you avoid arguments at mealtime? Can you put your phone on silent? This way, my mom is a classic, like answering her phone mid-meal. I'm like, Mom, no one needs you for 10 minutes. Like they just texted you, they're fine. What do you guys think that you could work on? I want to hear your answers as far as making your mealtime more enjoyable. Less TV, less computer.
I think for me, a lot of times at work, I have to eat in front of my computer. Because when there's only two of us on shift, we don't really get to leave for a break. So I think for me, the main focus would have to be at home, and I tend to eat in front of the TV when I'm at home. So I think, like, I've written down that I would like to eat my meals at home at the table. So, but baby steps, I'll start with dinner. Like I'll just start eating my dinners at the table rather than in front of the TV.
Yeah, for sure. I found that was super helpful. I started doing this in an apartment by myself and it was like kind of lonely. So I just made it like a nicer experience. But if I'm eating by myself, I usually go on the couch or whatever, but not checking my phone was the first most helpful thing. And then I would say sitting at a table was the next.
Yeah, I think that's why, because I eat alone.
Yeah.
Eat 8% of the time.
Yeah.
So to sit at the table, I mean, sometimes seems a bit formal to sit there by myself, but in the same token, it would take away all the other distraction.
Right, for sure. And it is like a pattern disrupt or pattern interrupt, which is one of our exercises today. So just doing that might already change your perspective and your experience enough to reminds you like, hey, we're savoring this food. We're seeing if this food bugs my stomach because I'm paying attention to my intolerances and things like that. They're just a different environment. Anyone else have one that they want to work on out of those or anything else? Don't be shy.
Yeah, I need to. I'm on my phone all the time. I'm eating rush for no reason because I need to. So I get distracted. I grab my phone. I'm like, oh, keep eating more than I need to eat, and I go back to my phone and I go back to eat, and yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I gotcha. Cool. So can you put your phone like flip side up or on a different chair or something while you eat?
Yeah, I can put it away somewhere else. That's not close to me.
Great. Third person. Maybe one more. Brooke, what can you do?
So I've actually already started doing this. My partner and I, we have like one night a week where we actually sit at the table and eat together instead of normally we watch TV while we eat together. And it's already helped like a lot, both in our relationship as well as like with our mindful eating.
Yeah, nice. Love it. Alicia, you looked like you were gonna unmute, were you? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have a question because I don't keep my phone with me when I eat. I Well, I don't like dim lights or playing soft music, but we generally sit at the table when we eat. That's not something we have kids, so we try to keep it a family time. And so like I'm just saying, well, I like my environment that I sit in. So I hear those of you who, this is something that you struggle with, but I'm trying to figure out what is that thing that I could do, because it's like yeah, I don't feel like it's a super terrible situation. I feel like it's a pretty good environment. So
Right.
according to what examples that you've given. So
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What do you do for lunch and breakfast?
we sit at the table for breakfast, and at lunch, I have an office and we sit at a table, and together of the colleagues in the office, we all sit there.
Okay.
That's new. Really appreciated that in the last number of months. I used to work for my home office, and that was bad.
Yeah.
Much better. So
cool. So if it is already an enjoyable experience, then maybe you can do the like mid meal check-in instead.
okay, that makes sense.
That works.
Yeah.
That's good that it's already feeling good. That's awesome. All right. Everyone feel good on that? I can move to the next exercise. Okay, grab your snack if you have one. There's no need to feel weird. I know some people feel weird eating in front of each other, but like you can shut your camera off if you want to, but everyone's eating their snacks, so like really, it's all good. Why didn't I write down page number? There it is. We got it. Okay, so I'm reading this directly from the Intuitive Eating Workbook, just to give them credit before I get going. So place your food on a plate or a napkin in front of you. Sit comfortably in your chair and take a couple of deep breaths until you feel relaxed and calm. It is important to take your time and not rush into each of the following experiences. Number 1, sight. Without touching your food, notice how it looks on the plate or napkin. Gaze upon it with curiosity, as if you've never seen this type of food before. Notice the color, the shape, any nooks and crannies and shadows. How would you describe what you observed to someone who's never seen this food? There is no wrong or right way to describe your observation. Just notice and engage with your eyes. Okay, number 2, smell. Place your nose near the food and gently inhale. What does the food smell like? Is there a scent? Perhaps hints of vanilla, mint, chocolate, or spicy or pungent aroma. Is the scent subtle or strong? Or perhaps the scent is fragrant, but neither subtle nor strong. There is no right or wrong way to experience aroma. Just notice. Number 3, touch. Pick up the food and place it in your hand. Notice how it feels in your hand. Perhaps it's smooth, rough, sharp, crumbly, sticky, brittle, crusty, heavy, or light. There is no wrong or right way to describe physical sensations of touch. Just notice and feel the texture. Sound. Take a small bite of the food. How does it sound as you take a bite? Perhaps crunchy, crackly, dull, slurpy, or wispy. There is no wrong or right way to describe what you hear. Just listen and notice. Mouthfeel. Without taking another bite, roll the food around in your mouth and notice how it feels. If you need to take another bite, you swallowed it, go ahead. This texture, is it rough, crumbly, dry, sticky, moist, light, or something else? Resist the urge to chew the food. Notice the texture, how it changes as it sits on your tongue. Perhaps it's beginning to get soggy, to disintegrate, or to become stringy or sharp. There is no wrong or right way to describe physical sensation of food in your mouth. Just notice and feel the texture gradually change. And lastly, taste. How does the food taste? Perhaps it's sweet, sour, bitter, salty, pungent, or bland. What happens to the taste of the food as it sits on your tongue? Does it get stronger or perhaps more subtle or less distinct? Are new flavors emerging as the food dissolves on your tongue? There is no right or wrong way to taste your food. Just observe and notice the nuance of flavors. Next, chew your food. Chew a bite of your food. When you feel ready, swallow it. Notice how the food feels as it travels down your throat. Take another bite of your food and repeat the process. Nice job. By the way, I'm going to record that for you guys. Also, this recording will be up. So if you ever want to go through it again, I know not everyone had a snack with them. That's cool. Those who did or didn't do it and they were just paying attention, what comes up for you when I read through this? Something.
I think I didn't have a snack, but just listening to it, these are not things that I'm thinking about when I'm eating. Normally, I'm just, feeding the fire and moving along. So I feel like doing this is definitely super helpful and will help you slow down in your eating and really, be mindful and help you in it, right? Because I think so often we're not even realizing what we're doing.
Right. For sure. Oh, I echoed there. Anyone else? Carol, you're unmuted. Hit me.
Yeah, I just actually enjoyed it a lot more. I just literally grabbed some grapes out of my fridge before I sat down.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like very much like Luann says, when I eat just to get on to the next thing, or I will eat mindlessly in front of the TV, and I can see myself probably eating less and feeling full sooner by taking the time to actually enjoy what I'm eating.
Right, for sure. Anyone else want to share?
For me, food has always been associated with like some kind of punishment. Like I'm either punishing my body because I don't look a certain way, or I eat some like a fun food and then I associate it with something I have to punish myself for later.
Right.
So I don't often sit and enjoy my food and feel it in that way. It was so cool to be able to do that. Like I literally just had pretzels and hummus and it was like, oh my gosh, like why have I not been doing this?
Yeah, this is the best hummus I've ever had.
Right?
Yeah, you're the second person that had pretzels. That's funny. Yeah, she was like, these are good. That's awesome. I love that that worked for you. I will definitely record just that like sound bites so you guys can keep playing it. Because personally I know that like I'm not going to do this all the time, like the mouth feel probably not, but like I pay more attention to smelling food, and especially while you're cooking, if you can really pay attention to the smell, that actually starts your digestion already. So as far as nutrition goes, that's going to help your stomach get ready to get and break down that food. So if you can pay attention to the smell of things just to start, then that will already be super helpful. My people in the Glow Project, the people that do this stuff with me all the time, said that this was one of the most helpful exercises for them, especially aroma. So I'm glad you guys liked it. Anyone else have anything for that, or shall we move on? Cool. We shall move on. Okay, so the next thing I have is I talked about pattern interrupt before, as in like going to a different location to eat. Pattern interrupts or disrupts are a great way to get a different perspective on things. And the course I took on mindset, where I got the should detox, had us do an experiment, which I didn't do because I hate scary movies, but I did some other things instead. They had you watch a scary movie during the day with the lights on versus at night with the lights off. And the pattern disrupt, a lot of the times people were like laughing at the scary movie or not finding it as scary or finding like different things in the movie rather than like having nightmares and being scared shitless. I just still don't like the idea of scary movies. I don't want anyone jumping out on me. But watching TV in the morning versus at night, I do think it's different and like so relaxing to watch like a Saturday morning movie that I can get in with, but not the scary part. So a pattern interrupt you can do is, change the location or the environment in some way. The other one is eating with your non-dominant hand. And this sounds crazy and it's actually hilarious. I'm so not good with my right hand. I'm left-handed. And it just feels weird. Like, why would you guys take the fork from over there and eat with this hand? I don't know. But people eat with their right hand. I don't know. This one really focuses you on slowing down. I actually only got halfway through my meal doing this because I was just so annoyed with it. But it did definitely make me enjoy the food more and slow down more. So that's a strategy you can try. And again, this is not a way to like punish you or make you eat less, or it's not a dieting trick. It's just to make you more aware and feel more satiated, because that's what we're going for. Pleasure, enjoyment, slowing down. Does anyone feel like that is a fun exercise to try? Will they try that one? Yeah, nice.
I'll give that a whirl tonight.
Nice. It's really funny. Let us know how it goes. It's a smoothie bowl. Like, I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna spill it on my shirt if I don't stop right now. So I don't want purple on me today. But yeah, I'd really like that exercise. That's also an idea from the workbook. Does anyone have questions, comments, concerns about mindful eating, how they can slow down, how they can get more enjoyment from food, anything else? I'm at your service now for free, so let me know.
Yeah, I got a question for you. And I feel like Michelle will benefit from this too. We as athletes, right? We either eating or not eating. Like we either stuffing our faces to death, or like not eating at all. So how do we find a middle ground? Like is either we're dieting really hard and like eating unhealthy because at that point, it's not healthy anymore, and or we just in the other end. So it's very extreme all the time. I'm like either eating whatever I feel like eating, and then later I'm just on like half a meal a day. And coffee. It's like what, like how do we find a balance, like the middle ground where I can still be eat enough and enjoy food and be able to like compete and perform properly. Because a lot of times what happened, and it happened with me and Michelle and other people competing too,
is
Yeah.
that we are really worried and we're really tired because we're focusing on like cutting all this weight. Then, we're not sleeping good. We're not like resting. We're not training properly. And it's because we went to the extreme completely.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so for weight-based sports, this is obviously different than most people here. So everyone else just ignore me for a second. I would say like number one, is it like how important is it for you to get down to such an aggressive weight? Like, can you go one weight class more and feel more energized? This is just a question because I'm not in this world too much. And I understand like you can compete better off, but also like when you're so tired, like do you feel like you compete well at that weight class?
No, so it's size, right? Like your height,
Mm-hmm.
In a normal weight, like I'm 30 pounds heavier than I compete normally. Because if I compete at the way I'm right now, people's gonna be about a foot taller than me.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, so the other option is like, can you make it a longer road rather than like you have to do the cut in like 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever and eat half a meal and try to live off of coffee? Can you like slowly implement the things that you want to do? And that way it doesn't feel like such a shock to your body.
Yeah, so I could do that. And that's where that's where we struggle the most
Mhm.
because it's like, you know what? Yeah, I just could do that.
Yeah. My recommendation would be honestly to like get an accountability buddy or a coach to hold you accountable so you actually do it. Like that's what I would do is like put skin in the game somehow. And that way you hold yourself accountable. Like I have coaches for everything and some of them are paid and some of them are unpaid when we whatever it is, but I find when I put my money where my mouth is, then I'm way more accountable to actually doing the thing. But the other option is like you and Michelle are like, hey, we're going to start the next cut like earlier so we don't feel like we're going to die. And then you hold yourself accountable to it.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
That work?
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm not like super familiar with all that stuff. Usually I'm like trying to get people away from that, but I understand there's obviously like completely different circumstances when it's for a sport, right? So good question. Anyone else? Cool. Okay, so we're gonna end right at the hour pretty much. Luann, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I think my biggest struggle is a lot of the food intolerances I have are like normal, everyday foods that everybody's eating, like eggs and rice and potatoes and corn and just and any kind of dairy. It's
Yeah.
so I feel like I need to get away from seeing it as such a limitation and kind of get to the point, I don't know, where I'm just, yeah, like I just need to get to a point where I'm not seeing it as such a limitation because I feel like that's what holds me back from success. Like I can do it, like I can eat well for only so long and then I'm like, this is too hard. And then
Yeah.
I feel crap for so long and then I'll go back to it. So it's almost like the binging and cutting, right? Because essentially that's what I'm doing to my body. Like I'll binge all this stuff hard because I'm missing it so much and
Yeah.
it's so normal. And then I realize how terrible I feel and I just get sick and tired of it. And then I cut all this stuff out again.
Yeah.
So for me, I really struggle with like trying to change my mindset around that.
Yeah. Okay, two thoughts. Number one, can you literally try to flip the narrative in your head to this is what I can eat? It seems stupid, but it is valuable versus like, I can't eat this. It's like, oh, these are the things I actually really like to eat. Like these are the things that that do feel really good. And maybe you write like a little note on your fridge of like things that feel good with like smiley faces and things like that as reminders of like, you're going to feel good after these things versus like no foods on your fridge. And this is fair for anything as well. Like if it feels like a diet for someone else and they have no foods, which we can definitely talk about one-on-one. But in this circumstance, like these are things that make me feel good, smiley face, happy face, rainbows, you know, like, can you try to flip the perspective to things you can do?
For sure. I think like around the house, I could do stuff like that. It's like when people bring food in at work and I'm like, shouldn't have that, but it looks so delicious. And I always feel like garbage afterwards. And I'm like, why do I do this to myself? I 100% know before that goes in my mouth that I'm going to feel like trash, yet I still do it. And then it's like the blame game afterwards. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, that's also part of intuitive eating, right? Is like, how am I going to feel after? Not because it's like dieting, guilt, shame, that type of thing. But like, if I physically am not going to feel good after, maybe it's not something I go for, you know what I mean? The other thing you could do is like carry digestive enzymes with you.
I do.
Yeah.
Or I have them every meal. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. I just need to get to the point where like I can listen to myself where I'm like, yeah, that is not going to make me feel good, so I'm not going to eat it. Like I don't understand why I still eat it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a normal thing. The other thing is like, if you can potentially like pay attention to this for a while, you might find that eventually you can eat these foods again, and like maybe small amounts. Maybe if you sit down and like really chew it and chill, your body's going to digest it more. The way that intolerances work is that sometimes when you give things a break, sometimes they feel okay later on as well. I have that with oats. I have to give them like a few months off and then I can eat them again. It's really weird, but just experimenting if like, hey, if I avoid this for a few weeks and then try a little bit again versus like a lot because you missed it so much, like, can I slowly reintroduce it? No, doesn't work. That's cool. I'll try something else or try it again later. That help? I know it's frustrating.
And I think there's some things that I can do that with, but hard no's for others because I have tried a little bit of that before and it's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah, for sure. So just reminding yourself like this feels good, and like having foods that you really enjoy that feel good. So like still have the sweet treats and stuff available for you that work with your intolerance, so that you don't feel like, oh my God, I haven't had anything sweet for forever, so I'm going to eat this cupcake at work even though I know it's going to make me feel bad. But really you could have had like a different sweet thing at home that was satiating that like, okay, cool, I feel good because I satisfied that craving without something that really bothers my stomach. That would be my other piece of advice. That helpful?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, sweet. So as a wrap up, and as a thank you for you guys for sticking out this meeting, and if people are watching the recording and get to this part as well, then you earned it too. I'm offering you all a free 30-minute call with me to discuss specifically where you want to go. So if you have something like mine are, and then you're struggling with that specific thing, you're struggling with food intolerances, you're struggling with intuitive eating and mindful eating and whatever it is, I'm happy to jump on a call with you for free for a thank you. Like I said, I have so many resources and also so many people I can refer you to. So even if it's not something that I personally do, I would be happy to refer you. So let me know what you're looking for and I can hook you up with someone, anything in the health and wellness industry. Really, I have really good connections locally and across Canada as well. So I will send that as a link to you guys in an email, and you can book a free call with me just to check in with your goals and where you're going. Sound good to everyone? Sweet. Also, if you're interested, I'll put the link, and the link is on the handout as well, to the Glow Project, which is where I tackle a lot of these things, the mindset, the should detox, a lot more of that work, and then all the intuitive eating principles, feel your fullness, eat satiating foods, gentle nutrition, mindful movement, all of that stuff. It's a 16-week program. And if you're interested in that, there's some testimonials and things on that page you can check out. Sound like a plan? Sweet. I'll stop the recording, and if anyone wants to hang out